Interesting note here, and I don't know if anybody cares, but everybody remembers Quandre Diggs, former Lion, outspoken guy, part of the reason Quinn Trisha got rid of him like idiots for nothing. But did you see what he had to say about Lamar's trade demand from the Ravens? He goes, I'm happy for Lamar. That's the best move and probably a year too late because I would have demanded one last year. Okay. You know what's funny about this? If the whole locker room loved him, and if he was this big hero, where are all the Ravens players to just come out and back him this offseason? Why would the Ravens want to upend their whole franchise? So I'll get to the calls right now. Bottom line, he demanded a trade on March 2nd, allegedly, privately. It's easy to go on social media and just say stuff. But if you're trading for Lamar, what are you giving up? I am giving up nothing. I don't want him. You are welcome to give up whatever you want. So let's get to it. 248-539-9797. We'll lead off. Go to Richard, 97.1. What's up, Richard? How are you?
Oh, hey, I'm doing all right. I'll tell you what, giving up for Lamar Jackson. Sound business principles, smart way of running a football organization. I would give nothing for him. I don't really understand the allure. I think that he is like sort of like Dominique Wilkins, although Dominique Wilkins might have been a nicer guy, or I don't know. But he's like a highlight reel, but the highlights are coming less and less, and he's a headache. He's almost like you could design a player that would be more wrong for the Lions in their current direction and organization. I think it would be Lamar. So I don't know where Vegas is coming from on this, and I have a question to put out there, and I don't know that anybody knows the answer.
Sure.
But how many times have drives that were stalled by Jackson's inability to complete passes was the team bailed out by having the best field goal kicker possibly in history? And what is Lamar like on a team that doesn't have a spectacular kicker? Like,
well, all right. But Richard, here's the thing. Listen, other teams will have things the Ravens don't have, right? So there's an offset there. The thing that I have an issue with is Lamar's MVP season is a distant memory in my world, right?
4 years ago.
Right. Then you look at there's been legitimate decline in his performance, and he's a quarterback who still, at this stage of his career, is athlete first, passer second. That's the type of guy, much like Cam Newton, that burns out quicker. I can't give you that guaranteed money. So, no, Richard, I'm with you. I wouldn't want him.
He's not the He's not the no I in team guy. He's a me in team though.
I love
that's what he is.
I love this notion too because I think it's faulty. And we heard Chris Sims talk about it. You've seen other articles feature it. Well, Lamar fits on just about any other team. Does he? Does he? The Ravens had to completely tailor the offense for him, which is the Greg Roman offense that he created for Colin Kaepernick. Lamar's never existed in a real NFL offense. Why? Because I don't know if he can do it.
Also, do you see him fitting in with like a Dan Campbell type of a culture? To me, that seems like the opposite.
I can't speak to it. I don't know. I don't believe it. But look, Dan Campbell vibes with a lot of different players. So I'm not going to say Dan Campbell wouldn't vibe with him. I'm talking about the way they've built this thing. They're already a far superior offense to anything the Ravens have. Why would you blow it up? Give up capital. Give up a quarterback who's frankly outplayed Lamar the last year and a half. I don't see the upgrade. I don't think this somehow elevates the Lions. I don't. Maybe you think I'm nuts. That's great. We'll go to George on a cell, 97.1. What's up, George?
Hey, how y'all fellas doing today?
Good, George. What's up?
Well, I say this much. As far as should Detroit give up anything? No doubts about it. I don't think they need Lamar. I don't think that the money in general, what he would command or think that he might command would be suitable for what we need. But on the other flip side, I will say this. I'm not in the business of Jared Goff having a decent year like he had last year and the year before. Well, since he's been a Detroit Lion and, again, his Super Bowl berth was, a distance ago. But I'm saying all that to say this right here. He's going to command, if Daniel Jones got $40 million, he's going to command, if he have anywhere like he did the last 9 games, he had last year north of $45 million. And that's what, 12 to maybe 15% of the cap. And mind you, he got the best offensive line, one of the best, depending on what they do in the draft, receiver core, and can have a top 10 defense. I mean, honestly, he's no better than Matt Stafford. You got to have everything around him. And mind you, he commands 12 to 15% of the cap. Honestly, if I'm the Lions, I look at this. I look at the guy in Green Bay and say, hey, let's just have a backup plan just in case this turns ugly. Because, again, Mike, we're not going to agree on Lamar Jackson, but I say this much. What could he have did? If it's funny, media and the NFL choose to post or put out what's comfortable for them. Again, what I mean by that is this right here. It's reportedly saying that, hey, he got a uncle agent or whatever. That's crazy if he do. It's too much money if that's the case, being involved to have bootleg or not legit folks. But again, it was reported also today that he asked for a trade March 3rd. Now, this radio station, and particularly this show, always say what? Make sure you handle it with the team first before it get ugly. What could he do? What more could he do?
Well, if he had a real – see, here's the difference, though. If you have a real agent, which he has never had, George, the trade request carries a hell of a lot more weight because of the relationships that man or woman have within the industry. When you go out and you don't go public with the trade demand and you don't have an agent working for you behind the scenes, that's basically a kid throwing a temper tantrum. So that's the whole premise. Why he refuses to have a real agent is a mystery I'll never be able to solve. Ever. He's trying to redefine the market. If he's worried about saving 3% or 2% of his net worth, then I can't help him. When you're efforting getting $250 million, because you know what his way has gotten him so far? A big fat zero. Ivory, 97.1. What's up, Ivory?
Hey, good afternoon to you guys.
What's up?
So I told your call screener that I would give up, a first. Well, if they ask anything about the sixth pick, I would hang up before the
all right.
conversation.
Six is off the board. You want to offer him 18 and what?
I would give up 18 and a future first, maybe next year's first. But I do like Lamar. But here's the thing, in listening, that's just me. I like him, but
that's fine.
If you're the Lions, why would you do this? Because the one thing is, not only would you get him, like, what would you do with Goff? They just don't seem like the organization, from everything they've done, because you're spot on with that. Like, everything they've done screams totally against this. Goff is their guy. They've built this offense basically with Goff and Ben Johnson.
Right.
They're in such a good spot right now from a talent perspective, financials. They're a quarterback that's been playing like a top 5, top 10 quarterback for the last year and a half, or basically, is making pennies for the next couple, 2-3 years. So it's like, I wouldn't be completely mad, but I would use the word you just used a little while ago. I would be flabbergasted if they did this.
Yeah, it'd be shocking.
Because they're in a good spot. Why they have no reason to do this.
And Ivory, I appreciate it. Like, there are so many teams that are destitute, that either for business purposes or franchise purposes desperately need a quarterback. I don't think you can say the Lions desperately need a quarterback, even if you don't like Jared Goff. Even if you think Goff is only 80% of what he's given you, that he's not the number 2 QB in the NFC. Maybe he's number 4, number 5. Maybe you think Jared Goff is nothing more than Jimmy Garoppolo, right? You can still make a Super Bowl. You have $28 million in cap space. You got a ton of draft capital. And Jared Goff makes roughly, 60% of what an elite quarterback makes. It's kind of a value. Does Lamar Jackson... See, if you were going to make this move, you have to be able to call in and tell me that Lamar Jackson will win you the Super Bowl. And I can't say that. Sorry. 248-539-9790.